This is WFAN's Outside the Cage, and it's fight week, people. UFC 218 coming to Detroit. No, it's not Frankie Edgar versus Max Holloway, but we get the rematch in Holloway and Aldo. But before that, there'll be 500 pounds of man inside the octagon. Francis Ngannou, not good, no. Come on, Joe Rogan, versus Alistair Overeem. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Yeah, what can I say? I'm looking forward to Saturday. Camp was awesome. I'm here. I'm ready. A couple more days.
I'm glad you brought up camp. I was just going to ask, because whenever I see your camps, I see an always developing fighter. You know, you brought in Wim Hof. There's a great documentary on his breathing. We see whether it's cardio, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's moving to a Jackson Wink. What have you done differently in this camp that you feel well prepared for the young, strong heavyweight in Francis?
I'm surprised you know a lot, but I already noticed that outside you're very knowledgeable. You know, there's always going to be some new element. We're always improving. We're always getting better. No different for this Francis fight. I can't give away anything more than that. It's going to be an action-packed fight. I expect to come out on top. I'm in the best shape of my life. And, yeah, there's been some new elements. I can't talk too much about it, but we're going to kick his ass.
Fair enough. You know, you were the champion of Strikeforce, Dream, K1, and Pride, too. You won a Grand Prix.
No, Pride, nope. I was active in 3 Grand Prix, actually, 3. And I became 3rd place. That was my best outing there. Very
close to winning it, of course. And UFC 203, you were about 1 or 2 taps. I'll say there was 1 tap, but you're about 1 or 2 more taps away from being the UFC champion. What's been your motivation over this about 14 months since the loss to Cleveland's own Stipe, and now you're facing a young killer? What's been the motivation to get the belt, to just prove that you're one of the best of all time?
I don't know. Motivation is difficult to describe. I've been talking with friends. You know, what is motivation? What is that exactly? I don't like to talk about it too much, because talking doesn't mean anything. It's all in your actions. Either you're doing it or you're not. Yeah, of course, after the Stipe fight, there was stuff that needs to be fixed. We fixed it. We're now 2 wins further, and about to get our 3rd win. Then challenge again for the belt against Stipe. The fight with Stipe will be different next time. I'm a different fighter. I'm stronger. I'm more fit. I'm more aggressive. Yeah, it's gonna happen. How it's gonna happen.
How many times have you watched that fight?
I watched a couple times. Not too much. Yeah.
Well, again, we're being joined by Alistair Overeem in studio. Now you're moving on from Stipe, but yet similar in the great boxing with Francis Ngannou. Have you brought in specific boxers? Are you working in just with the Jackson Wink who's around in company? Or I know you don't want to give much.
No, I always have a couple coaches that I fly in and a couple sparring partners. Yeah, nothing too crazy, nothing too special, nothing too spectacular. Yeah. Nothing to write home about.
Any potential for takedown? Because we know you got great jiu-jitsu, man. Like, everybody does. Nobody sleeps on your hands and your beautiful liver kick. But you got good jiu-jitsu. Are you going to try to bring it to the mats?
Well, I have everything, right? I'm all-around MMA fighter, and that includes ground. You know, if the opportunity arises itself, I'm going to surely take it. So, yeah, well, let's see what the fight brings Saturday.
Nice. And this card, just looking at it, you know, there's Holloway, Aldo, there's you versus Ngannou, there's Eddie Alvarez versus Justin Gaethje.
Going to be a great fight.
Fantastic card, but it seems like it could potentially be, these fights could, maybe you're 1 or 2 fights away from a champion for each of these. In your opinion, are you okay with passing the torch in a sense? Like, even if you do knock out Francis Ngannou, which you plan to do, are you okay with maybe motivating the young? Because he came from Cameroon, moved to France, and he's learning English as he goes. Not to put you guys in the same bracket, but are you okay with passing the torch to a young heavyweight who's on the rise?
I like my torch. Torch stays in my hands.
Let's go. I love it.
And, the torch, they need to deserve their own torch. My torch is staying in my hand.
The UFC pulled him into the Performance Institute. You know, they're trying to shift him towards that potential Stipe heavyweight match in the probably early 2000 spring. What do you want to do? What do you plan on doing to stop that and cut that off and get your rematch? Because it was a fantastic bout, the first match.
You're going to see that all Saturday.
All right.
The Predator will be stopped.
He shaved the hair, though. No more Predator. Francis now, he's got the hairdo going.
Yeah, me too.
It looks great. I saw on your wiki that you grew up in the UK, and obviously you're a Dutch kickboxer. In your opinion, obviously you're very worldly, culture, seen a lot in your day. What's your favorite country? What's been your favorite event that you've traveled to?
Well, I have a big passion for the Pride shows, and that ran from, 98, 99 to 2007. And my first Pride show was 2001, and I just love those shows. The whole entourage, the whole way that the media supported it, and the fights played out, how they played out. But it was just a huge spectacle in Japan. Other places I love in the world. Well, I'm from Holland, born in England, raised in Holland. I go back to Holland every 2 months. My daughters live there. I'm there a lot. I love it there. Miss it there. My friends' family. Croatia is a special place in Europe. We cannot forget Thailand. I go there once a year for training camps.
It's a lot of places.
Yeah, Dubai there as well. What else? Based in Miami now, so that's basically home.
Nice, not bad. Not a bad home, man.
I have no complaints. I travel a lot, but it's exactly the way I like it, and always working, of course, always improving, never forgetting, never leaving the eyes not on the prize. So yeah, we're just living it and we're doing it.
Nice, man. And we've seen your development even against the loss against last year. You took out Mark Hunt, one of the dudes that nobody can knock out. You took him out. You took out Verdum again. I believe you won 2 out of 3 against him, which nobody was talking about, that it was a trilogy match. But you hit on about the Pride shows and Thailand and basically the UFC coming back to Asia. In your mind, and watching the Pride fights, dude, it was awesome. Like seeing the crowd quiet, you could hear the slap of the ribs, the punch of the jaws. It was awesome watching those replays because I wasn't old enough, as you probably imagine.
How old are you?
28.
28.
It's the Spanish genes that keep me young. But in your opinion, could the UFC kind of reinvigorate the Asian crowd and get to a point where it's going to be at the level of Pride, maybe having a 50,000, 80,000, 100,000 show?